Remind you that we are always here from 6:30 till the hour of 9. That is Good Morning Uganda, and an extension which is Good Morning Uganda from 9 to 10. I'm Robert Chirabonyo, in case you have just joined. Now, the country is very set, very prepared, and the talk is the non-allied movement, the summit that will be taking place in this lovely country. And there's so much of what we will gain. However, there is so much also of opportunity. But don't forget that opportunities come to those who are prepared. How you position yourself, how you're prepared for this. So much as you think about them, how prepared are you? How have you positioned yourself to ensure this is not just a summit or a conference that you hear of that happened in Uganda, but you partake of the various opportunities. You may not be a service provider, but you may not be even among, but how can you tap of this? Well, that's a question in many people's minds. And this morning, I am joined by Dr. Opul Joseph, who is the Director, Quality Education Consultancy Limited, and the Executive Director of Opul Skills Foundation Africa, with whom we want to look at first skilling, but also how can one prepare themselves to benefit from this summit that is coming 15th to 24th. Well, that shouldn't just bypass you. Welcome, Doctor, and thank you for finding time.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robert, and the viewers of UBC. I think it's never too late to say Happy New Year yet.
we are still in the mood of the new year and all this.
The longest month of the year, we are still there.
I know January is going to be the hardest to reach. Otherwise, my name is Opul Joseph. I work as a director at Quality Education Consultancy Limited. We have been here for the last 17 years struggling to skill the community. And then also we have opportunities for universal livelihoods, what you call a Opul Skilling Foundation Africa. In all these organizations, we want to skill the community, and actually in the next 10 years, we are targeting to skill 20 million youth, women, UPDF officers, even the robots of UBC, and all others listening right now in Uganda and in the rest of Africa. In Uganda specifically, we are targeting to train 20 million, 2 million in the next 5 years. Kenya, 2 million, Rwanda, 2 million. And the rest, we shall leave for the rest of Africa, Central Africa, and then West Africa. This sounds very ambitious. You know, whenever people hear, Joseph, 20 million in the next 10 years, I say, that's my dream, me as a person. And I am very sure that we will achieve. And even if we don't achieve, but at least we will achieve something. That's what we dream. And before we go to the issue of the NAM, I would like to thank the government of Uganda and the people of Uganda. Said congratulations. It's not a very easy assignment to host NAM. Over 120 heads of state. I can imagine the trillions of opportunities lies ahead of Ugandans. And like the way you competently said, opportunities are they are not on Kampala Road or anywhere you can just find it. No, opportunities are usually hidden. It's up to the Ugandans to strategically position themselves and see how best they can be able to tap this opportunity. So I sincerely congratulate the government of Uganda under the leadership of the President Yoweri Museveni and all the people of Uganda. Say, please, let's open our eyes, let's open our minds, and let's mint all the opportunities that are coming along with the NAM Summit from 15th up to about 20-something. Of course, there are those that are direct opportunities, but many of the opportunities are hidden and long-term. We should not only target those, the one-off during the summit. Actually, the big opportunities will come after the summit has ended. That's where we should be looking for the opportunities.
Well, that said, you talked about skilling.
Yes, yes.
Now, we have words that have become common.
Yes, yes.
Skilling is a word that has become common.
Yes, yes.
Now, what it entails, I've seen so many projects with the word skilling.
Yes.
And people telling you the way to go is skilling Ugandans.
Yes, true.
Politicians will talk about skilling.
True.
Technocrats skilling.
Yes.
Now, in your own understanding and what you do, when you talk of skilling, what are you referring to? Skilling youth, women, veterans, what are you going to skill them, you know? What is this?
Yeah, very good question, Robert. Maybe before we go to
being a catchword.
Yeah, before we go into the issue of the skilling, many people are asking that, what is NAM? And these are elite. So I'm sure if the elite is asking about what NAM is, I imagine somebody from Katakui, somebody from Isinjiro, from Barara, deep in the village there. So I wanted to say that NAM, like the way you said, is Nine Allied Movement. It was established in 1961 with the intentions of dealing with the interests and the problems facing developing countries. The problems vary from one country to another. At the time, it was issue of decolonization. Right now, it may not be, because most of the African countries are now decolonized. The issues now might be economic empowerment, the skilling thing that you're talking about. Now, you're asking about skilling. First of all, in the whole of Africa, we have about 300 million graduates or people without skills, but they have the papers. They have the papers, let alone those who don't have the papers and also don't have the skill. Now, when we talk about skilling from Quality Education Council's point of view and Opuli Skilling Foundation Africa, for us, there are two levels. One is software skills. That is business incubation, entrepreneurship, business skills, and all those, preparing somebody from the person who doesn't have business idea up to the time when they get business idea, they put business idea into implementation or practice until they start their business. That is software. And this makes our trainings extremely very unique. For all the trainings that we have done, our clients who know we have done trainings in the Busega market here in Kampala, I'm sure right now they are listening and they are hearing what I'm saying. We have done trainings across the country in Mbarara, in Sinjiro, Katakui, Otuke, and all this. And we have very verifiable and outspoken impact. We have impacted into the society. And the reason why we have impacted the society is that we follow the stages of the two that I've told you. Software first. Then we go into the hardware. Right now, as we are starting, I was listening to an advert from a colleague from, actually was talking about tailoring and all this. Okay. By the time when our trainees come into hardware skills, tailoring, bakery making, soap making, what, and all this, first they would have gone through the stages of business development so that they know that business goes through stages. You don't just jump. Business is not charity and all this. You must go through all those stages. Now, when you start your tailoring, you now know how to run your business. You know the challenges that will come through. You know how to manage the customers. You know all the things that are associated with business. Now, that's why our trainees are very successful, because we also train them that don't only become the best tailor. Most of the suits we are putting on, we pick them from Italy. Most of the things we are consuming in Uganda, we pick them across the world. But we can make 90% of what we are importing, we can make them from Uganda. Absolutely, we can make. If it's about the tailoring, why are we picking suits from Italy or Turkey? Can we bring the Turkish tailors to Uganda? Can we bring the Italian tailors to Uganda? And most of the shoes we are putting on from Italy, they are handmade. They are not from the factory. Hands. And I guess Ugandans have the hands. All of us have the hands. So this is what we do at Quality Education and then our Police Skilling Foundation. Software first, and then hardware. Because people are wondering usually that why is it that we don't give money, by the way, Robert. Most of the people we train, we just give the skills. But they have made a lot of money than those that are normally given money.
During campaigns of 2021, President Museveni was on the lookout for one of the beneficiaries that we trained from Katakwi. This is a student we trained in a secondary school called Katakwi High School. He was able to make 90 million from 1 million out of planting onions. Now, when you tell people that from 1 million to 90 million, people say, Joseph, there is also the way you like really sugarcoating very many things. If you go online, on Monitor online, you'll find a story. Just type Claude Francis. You'll find that story there.
Well, Doctor, before even we go to those successful stories.
Yes, yes.
Because many programs will have successful stories.
Yes, yes.
And Ugandans, I may say, they are not short of trainings.
Yes,
Actually,
yes.
government of Uganda has invested so much money on trainings.
Yes, yes.
But then with all this, even before we look at the opportunities coming,
Yeah.
but the big question that always comes to my mind is they're always not in tandem with investment
Yes.
vis-a-vis output.
Yes, yes, yes.
You know,
yes.
why is the problem? You see many programs talking about skills development.
Yes, yes, yes.
You find so many projects enhancing skills.
Skills,
The
yes.
word skills is everywhere.
Yeah, very true. Very, very true.
You'll find, but at the end of the day, there is something missing.
Yeah, very, very true.
You know, some have even been trained,
Yes, yes.
given equipment.
Yes, yes.
If they are 100, then the rate of those that are able
I've succeeded.
have succeeded
It is very small.
is very small. So why are we seeing this?
Robert, I totally agree with you. I did a tracer study for some project in Karamoja. It was funded by USAID, and there's some NGO in Karamoja called C&D. They have actually a skilling center in Karamoja. They skill youth on different enterprises, those bicycle making, dairy, piggery, and all those. So when we went to, they were even given what they call a startup capital. They were given money. There are those for welding that you are talking about. They were given a generator and all those. When we went there, we found the generator is just lying there. So we asked them, so what's not happening? So yeah, the fuel that they gave us last time is now over. So what else can we do? Skilling is also a skill. The person who is doing the skilling, or organizations who are doing skilling, should also themselves be having the skill to skill. That's the first thing. Many of the organizations that are doing skilling are development partners, NGOs, and then government. Since President Museveni came into power, by the way, in the whole of Africa, Uganda has had the highest investment in skilling programs. We have the highest in the whole of Africa. We have the highest, but we don't have, we have the lowest outcome and impact out of the highest investment. And the reason comes from what I had already told you earlier, that we don't nurture the people we are skilling into stages. Most of the programs skilling programs are very cosmetic. You understand, they are very cosmetic. They come say, Robert, for you have been poor for the last 40 years, you have been, we give you a goat. Why don't you understand? Why doesn't he have a goat for the last 40 years? That's where the problem is. Because I'm sure that, Robert, for the time you have been under the sun, you have held some money which can enable you to buy a goat. You understand? So if we don't take the people we skill through these stages, I can assure you we will not harvest the results. Right now we have PDM. PDM is doing very well, but also there are some gaps. Some people are doing very well, some people have eaten their money and all this. When President Museveni just came to power, there was what we call a tandikwa. A tandikwa was given to people. People used it for marrying women, for drinking, and all this. The intention of President Museveni was to say, now that you don't have capital, I want to give you capital and you start business. The gap still was that these people were not first taken through these stages. So there is a stage, my experience for the time I've been in skilling, that you need to take these people maybe for about 1 or 2 years, before you start giving them whatever you, okay, most organizations call it startup capital. Me, I prefer to call it performance-based support. That if I've skilled Robert in 2023, and by 2024 in August, Robert has one goat. From his own struggles, I say, yeah, I can add him another one goat. If Opul has been able to struggle on his own and he has one hen, let's add him another hen, because that is his capacity. And that is a model that is being used in most of the successful countries. That let's give performance-based support, which is commensurate to the efforts of the person we are supporting. But if you find a person doesn't have a goat, then you give them a Frisian cow. I can assure you that the Frisian cow will not last. It's just going to do. So the question you're asking, that how come these programs are not successful? They are everywhere. Everybody is talking about skilling, NGOs, government, members of parliament, President Museveni, everywhere. Actually, I think is the most known word now by everybody, skilling. But skilling can be more successful if we take these people we train through this stage. And by the way, practical stages, not just theoretical. Because you may find somebody from the university who has even done this at the university as a course, business development, has done BBA, BCom. So they should be more conversant with this. But you find out that he's the one who is unemployed in the village. You say, you people, this government, there are no jobs, there are no what. I can assure you, Robert, it's not true that there are no jobs. The jobs are there, plenty of the jobs. What is lacking is that the people who are looking for the jobs don't have the skill, don't have the attitudes, don't have the values that the employers are looking for. But the jobs are there, plenty. People are looking for people to manage their businesses, manage their farms, manage their what. What happens if you give a Ugandan an opportunity to manage your restaurant? If he has 10 million within the next 2 weeks, the restaurant has come to 2 million. they have put down the business.
Now, with that good background, Doctor, that you have given, earlier on, I said that opportunities come to those who are prepared. Now, when you look at NAM, first, do Ugandans have the necessary skills to tap into the opportunities that you're going to tell us, if at all they are there?
Some time back we had a meeting with the Minister of Trade and most of the vendors in and around Kampala. And one of the challenges we have as a country is that we have a very limited business intelligence systems. If a person from Katakwi, for example, somebody from Gulu, somebody from Ntungamo, they should be able to know about all the available opportunities that exist as far as business is concerned. All Ugandans should be able to know at once. We don't have such a system in Uganda. But ahead of NAM, as you are saying, yeah, true, we have been preparing for this summit for a very long time. And as of now, the information we are getting from the deep organizing committee or those who are heading the organization, they say we are 99% ready as far as the organization is concerned. But also, like I told you at the beginning, that the opportunities that lie for Ugandans, there are those that are for during the conference itself. Actually, the conference has already started because already the advanced team is already here. People, heads of state have sent their team, they're already here. That one is there. But the question you're asking, that do they have the skill? Of course, some skills will be there. And you know, skilling or learning skills is not an event. If you have some today, it doesn't stop you from adding tomorrow, next year, until further notice. So I can say that some Ugandans are ready to tap into the skills, and we have the skills to receive whatever opportunities will be available, but it doesn't stop us from still refining what we already have. And Robert, on that very note, you know, we need to be like Americans. You know, Americans like branding. You want to go to America, you will think that America is heaven. They will try to restrict you, thinking that you are, they always portray the best, actually the next best. You know, one American doctor told me that America needs the next best. So I was wondering, what does the next best mean? For them, they don't want the best. They want ahead of the best. If, Robert, you are number one, they want to be ahead of you. So as Ugandans, we need to do a lot of branding for ourselves. We need to portray, and indeed, by the way, Robert, people sometimes say Uganda has challenges, but I can tell you we're in a very good country. We might be having one or two gaps here and there, just like any other country, but we're in a very good country. So we must brand our country, and we must brand ourselves, and we must portray ourselves as the next best, the best in the world. So that let people start admiring, say, when you go to Uganda, they feel for their country. But some people say, you know, my country, there's a lot of unemployment, there's a lot of ABCD. No, that one is internal. When the guests come, let's portray that we are the next best. We should be proud about our country, and that's when other people will be admiring. In this case, I want us to go ahead of America. Let's brand our country more than the Americans are branding. There's a lot of poverty in America, but what do you see?
Now, when you talk about let's brand,
yes,
can you connect this to the topic of the day?
Yes. When we are not proud, first us as Ugandans, internally, when we are not proud about our country, we need to be proud about our country. What are we posting on the internet? What are we posting on our social media? What are we communicating to guests who come? When a foreigner comes and asks, tell me about ABCD, some Ugandans cannot be shy to start talking about negative things. That cannot happen when you go to other countries. But say, what is your interest? Did you come all the way from here to talk negatively about our country, or to ask about our country? No. We should be painting the best about our country, starting from our government. Let's paint the best about our government. Let's paint the best about business in our country, about the hospitality of the Ugandans, and about the country. Let's tell them about tourism opportunities are available, what opportunities are available, and all those. Not telling them about our no. That one should be when me and Robert and you, when we sit. That's what we can discuss. Okay, we have portfolios here, the other side, but as long as we interface with any foreigner, we must paint our country not only as the best, but the next best. We should be like heaven. People should be struggling to come to Uganda and say, it seems Uganda looks like heaven. Why is everybody talking good about it? And this has a strong connection to the summit that has already started, of course, effectively starting from 15th until it ends.
Well, portraying a good image about our country, we must love our country, because no one will love our country.
Absolutely.
For us. It is us to love it, to market it, to sell it out there. And as Africans, usually when you have visitors home, the dirty linen is not exposed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You create a very good picture. Then when they are gone,
we can now start.
And that's why you see that government has injected quite a number of millions to ensure that we do some cleaning, like when you're getting visitors. And when we talk about opportunities there, my guest will later on, after this break, continue to throw more light, because we've had a number of, we had Chogam.
Yes.
That was 207.
Yes.
And opportunities were there. We recently had the speakers and that is presiding officers.
Yes.
I believe there were opportunities directly, but now I want to look at those indirect opportunities that come along with these. Just not to say we were inconvenienced by traffic jam, just not to say there's a flyover, a tunnel, and this, but have more of this. Let's return after this short break. I'm still with Dr. Opul, with whom we are discussing more of the opportunities that will be coming with NAM. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra. Pick of the day on UBC. Was brought to you by MTN Momo Pay is the easy way to pay. Dial star 165 star 3 hash or use the MTN Momo app. You don't need cash. MTN Momo Pay is safe and free.
Previously, in most of these areas that we had prioritized, farmers would produce, but you don't access market because the roads are not there. So you have the middlemen that would have access and they persevere to go into those deep in the villages and they buy with their own prices. They can go there and set prices for you, and yet you're the ones who have produced this food. But now this time with the market linkages, people can now access market because we have bridges that were, streams that were bottlenecks to access by the farmers. It has constructed bridges, some farmers can now reach market.
Actually, Zono Industrial is one of the presidential initiatives which is brought here in Achule land to skill our youth. The skilling is free of charge. What you really need, you have to be within the age of 18 to 35. They don't need any requirements apart from being willing. You have to be willing, and a youth who is willing to get the skills. The courses we have started with only 4. That is tailoring, hairdressing, carpentry, and welding. First intake, we registered 212. We admitted, 212 students from 10 administrative units of Acholi. These students, they recruited them from different districts within the Acholi sub-region. If we continue with this cooperation, many beneficiaries will pass through us, and they will will go with enough skills, unknown skills, which will change them and later bring them into an economy. We shall really fight poverty in that way.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Thank you for being with us. You're still watching Good Morning Uganda Extra. I'm Robert Chirabo Nyonyiton, and I have Dr. Opul Joseph, who happens to be the Director of Quality Education Consultancy and the Executive Director of, that is Opul Skilling Development Foundation, with whom we are discussing opportunities and, of course, trying to dissect when we talk about skilling, something that has become very, very common of almost government, private programs targeting youth, women, and I think persons with disabilities. Yes. Now, we talked about earlier the opportunities that are coming with NAM. Yes. Let's look at, there are those that are direct, indirect, yes, long-term, and short-term.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much, Robert, and our viewers. True, NAM Summit is coming with the very many opportunities. We will start with the direct ones and the short term. The direct ones, first of all, I want to say that as a country, that's why I was congratulating the government of Uganda and the Ugandans for hosting this summit. Robert, this summit will affect all of us. I mean, we will all benefit in one way or another. All Ugandans are going to benefit from this summit. There are those who are going to benefit directly. Right now, some have already started benefiting directly. The hotels are already working, because I've told you already, advanced team is here. All the food that will be eaten by the guests who are coming, I'm sure they are produced across the country. Come from Soroti, another one from Kampala, another one from where. So all of us are going to benefit in one way or another, especially the farmers and the vendors. Then the people who are the owners of the hotels, really these are the ones who are going to benefit directly.
People need accommodation and all this. And then all sorts of traders. I was hearing, I think one of the ministers was cautioning street vendors, okay, the ladies who are selling the streets, I prefer to call them service providers in a very polite name. Say, please, we do not want you to study in the streets. Find a more organized way of getting the clients. So those are the direct ones. But the long-term ones and the indirect ones, I think to me, are even the most important ones. One is that there will be direct foreign investment. Many of the guests who are coming here, they come here because they know the country is peaceful, because they know the country has opportunities for investment. Some of them are coming to look for partners. They are coming to look where to invest, to put their money. Most of the people who are coming here are rich. They want to see, they want to look for rubber, they want to look for a certain pool or to partner with, and then they can do the investment. So our issue is that are we prepared? Do we have the skills? Do we have the techniques of discussing and managing the investment that the summit is coming along with? Because some people, you partner with them, you give them the money, when they fly back, their phones, the next day the phones are not available. You understand? So that means that as Ugandans, we must exhibit the highest level of business ethics so that we remain portraying a very good image for our country, not just during or after the summit. For the time when you are living, as you interact with people as far as business is concerned, you must exhibit very good. So that's one of the opportunities. These people want to invest in Uganda. And by the way, not just some of them actually started coming here or already scouting for the opportunities. Remember earlier, I was saying that as a country, we don't have very strong business intelligence systems. You are aware that sometime back, President Museveni got a market for goats in the Arab world. But within the 2 weeks, the goats we could not supply anymore. Why? Because the president should have been informed, this information should have been gone to the farmers, and the country would be knowing that how many goats do we have in Uganda in the next 2 years before we sign the contract. So by now, I expect that perhaps Minister of Trade would have documented, would be circulating this in the papers, and say that for this country we have these opportunities. For where we have these opportunities. Some time back, I think in November, we had the Algerian business team here. We had a meeting with them. They need the powder milk. They need a lot of powder milk that we may not be having the capacity to supply the milk, all the milk that we have in Uganda. So maybe as lessons learned, even after the summit is done, it's something that we need to improve as a country. We need to be scouting for the opportunities. That's why especially the embassies who are in different countries, so that those opportunities are, because not everybody is able to go to embassy. Somebody from Kitugum doesn't even know where embassy is located, but he or she needs this information. Somebody from Karamoja, from Kotidu, some of them will never reach even Kampala. But these are the people who should be given the opportunity. So I think that is the lessons learned for us as a country. Well,
you've talked about opportunities available.
Yes.
And we are having a catchword, which is opportunities come to those that are prepared.
Yes, yes, yes.
But when you talk about this summit,
yes,
if you've moved around, have we created enough awareness that there are opportunities coming? Away from people just knowing we are going to be having a summit. It's about countries. Many actually will just tell you it is a summit that is going to happen in such a place, and of course speakers, they'll begin talking of the jam, then they'll begin talking of some roads that have been repaired, punched up here and there, but about investment, yes, about opportunity to them is something far-fetched, and something they think is only maybe for government people, you know. So then this does not drive them to prepare, because they think it's not something of theirs to benefit.
Yeah, true. Well, I know that some mobilization is ongoing. Some sensitizations are going on. But like I told you, when people saw the advert about me coming to the TV, say, but what is NAM? So that means that these are elites, like I told you. There is still a lot that needs to be done as far as the communicating to the people about the investment opportunities concerned. Of course, the online registration is there. Those who, if you want to attend, you go online, the requirements are there. If you want to sponsor, the requirements are there online. If you want to participate, if you want to advertise your products or your services, the form is there, and the cost that you're supposed to pay is there. But I can tell you, like you already asked, that we still need to deepen, government needs to deepen a lot of communication, not only within Kampala here, because like the way you are saying, I think people think NAM is only for the big people. Actually, NAM largely is supposed to be for the business community. That is the biggest aim of NAM. More, these presidents are only coming to tell us about what opportunities are available as far as the business is concerned, but the information needs to really go deep into the business community we are talking about. Somebody has just sent me a message from the cyber market, but we are not aware about this. So we need to, like I was saying at the beginning, that business intelligence systems are not yet very strong. We need to strengthen this, because it should be the people from the village, those who have the animals, the farms, and all the cows, the goats, the hens, are the ones who should be knowing more about this information, so that they should know how many hens should I supply munyonyo, how many goats, and all this. So,
and these just words that you elites, sometimes technocrats, sometimes politicians,
yes,
use to tell people that yes, these people are going to be here, they are going to be eating food, they are going to be, they will then tour.
Yes.
But practicability of this, you know, how does a young man, having blessed with a lot of heads of cattle,
exactly.
How do you bring him to view this in his mind?
Yes.
That there is an opportunity that in Kataku, where he is with his many cows, he can tap from.
Exactly.
These are suppliers registered and all that, you know. So really, are these opportunities practically there for the ordinary person, or are these catchwords that we're using, you know, for them to feel like you're not left out?
Yes. Robert, true, the opportunities are available, but like I said earlier, that by now, we should be knowing as a country that how many heads of cows shall we need for the summit? How many number of hens shall we need? What about how many bags of Irish? How many bags? So that people should be say how many people how many should we supply to you? This information needs to be surely communicated to the community, and like I said at the beginning, maybe as lessons learned in the subsequent summits, let the person on the ground, let the person in Sinjiro, in Ntungamo, in Karamoja, let them feel that a summit has been there. The summit should not be for only the Roberts who are putting on ties and the Josephs who are putting on coats. It should be more for the because if we are going to discuss more about business.
Because this is more relations between countries. Of course, when it was formed, it had an agenda.
Yeah, very true. And it still has the agenda.
That agenda of decolonization, but in the 21st century, we've moved fairly away from that.
Very true.
Now we should be discussing economic empowerment.
Yeah, very true.
Continental, member state, or inter. That is it. And this looks at the economy of various countries. I was looking keenly about watching Speaker from Speaker, those that were televised on UBC TV.
Yes.
In the just concluded, that is speakers and presiding officers.
Yes.
Much as there is that element of the Commonwealth was being discussed, but more so was now, how do we move forward?
Yeah, very true.
How do we empower each other? How do you create peace and harmony?
Very true.
So that is for the delegates and that big approach. But for me, an ordinary person, my question is, yes, that is good for me as well, in the long-term opportunities.
Yeah.
But now, what is on table for me is the big question that ordinary Ugandan does not just stop at seeing security beefed up on regular roads, maybe some having limited access to certain places.
Yes.
But maybe pocket.
Yes.
That's where, doctor,
yes.
I'm not yet convinced.
Yeah, very true. But you need to be convinced that NAM is coming with the opportunities, like I said at the beginning, that all Ugandans will benefit from NAM in one way or another. But how does the money come directly into the pockets of the business community of Ugandans? That is a question that you
answer that, I end the show.
No, you should not end the show because we are still moving. One, these are for lessons learned. That in the future, the business community needs to be more organized than we are right now. Because we needed the voice of the business community to be much stronger than the way we have today. That's what I told you, that we are training vendors in Busega market. Busega market, there are almost about over 3,000 vendors. But they are not organized into cooperatives. Said, you people, how will you, if you are given, for example, a tender, so who's going to supply unless you belong into a very strong cooperative? And right now, when you go to Busega market, they have a cooperative and they export fish to Congo, they export fish to Sudan and many more other countries. So by now, the business community would have already approached His Excellency, the President, say, we're about to, NAM is coming. So where are we as far as NAM is concerned? What exactly are we supposed to do? What are we going to supply? We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Who are the people who are in charge? Can you connect us to them? So I think that is that's what we should be discussing in the next summit as a lessons learned. But as far as the current NAM is concerned, it might be difficult to say directly that this is how the money will come into the pockets of Uganda directly. But I know in one way or another, all of us are going to feel the impact of the summit, whether you're a border, whether you're a vendor selling some of the produce and all this, we will benefit in one way or another. Yeah.
Well, we will benefit in one way or the other.
Yes.
One thing I know about money is that when one person receives, there's a trickle-down effect. It may not be instantly, but it can. We know they are accredited service providers. By the end of the day, one good thing is that these are people who are going to spend money in Uganda as long as they're here.
Yes.
And if you are well positioned, of course, delegates come with a lot of business deals, cracking and opportunity. The big thing is, how is our team, how are we prepared to tap into these very avenues? Well, Doctor, I must let you go for more programming, but what is your final message to Ugandans?
My final message to the people of Uganda and the government of Uganda, especially the business community, that let's strategically position ourselves to tap not only from the NAM that is coming now, but even the other subsequent summits, conferences that will be coming to Uganda. And I want the voice of the business community, of the farmers, to be more pronounced. So that the president should be calling us, once the president knows that the farmers are organized, the business community are organized, as those in the Busega market I've already told you, it should be up to him that, please, let me have a meeting with the business community. Just like when the Algeria team was here, the president organized a meeting with most of the vendors within Kampala and I think across the country, and we are very happy. But my last message is that we as the business community of Uganda, we must make our voices more louder than ever before, so that any summit, whoever is organizing a summit, will say, we must consider the interests of the business community. Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you so much for your time, and above all, our viewers. I cannot thank you enough for being with us, more so those that begin with us the day from 6:30 till now when extra is done. Thank you so much for your time. And to fellow Ugandans, this is a time to give the best to our country as far as the image we portray. We are having visitors in the country.
Actually, the next best.
The next best.
We should give above the best.
Having visitors in the country.
Yes, yes, yes.
It is time that we ensure we continue marketing, selling Uganda to the people that come here. We are always ranked as one of the most happiest people in the world. That smile, that good act for this short time that you're going to be having them. We hope and pray that this is not just a conference that comes and goes, but it has an impact on the economy of Uganda as far as money coming in and being put to proper use. See you tomorrow. God bless you.